delicacy. As you can see, it's freshly baked and of course, very tasty. You get them in different varieties, like I've got coconut, and it's really good.
This is Váci Street, one of the most popular and crowded streets in the whole of Budapest. In the 18th century, it was originally two streets, then joined together. The north side with your elegant and fashionable shopping, and the southern side with all your lovely scrumptious food. Behind me are two very important and magnificent buildings, the twin Clotel Palaces. They are also the leading two identical buildings that are straight to the Elizabeth Bridge, which leads over to Buda and over the serene Danube.
Elizabeth Bridge is the third newest bridge in Budapest, Hungary. It goes over the Danube and connects Buda and Pest together. Of course, it was destroyed in the World War II, but it was eventually rebuilt in the 1961 to 64. As you can see, there are lots of roadworks going on, but it's usually used for cars and sometimes also for pedestrian use. You can gaze upon many beautiful views over this bridge and enjoy a lovely nice time. Please do come and join me on this magnificent bridge and a lovely enjoyable walk across the Elizabeth Bridge. To my left is flanked the Liberty Bridge, and to my right is obviously one of the most famous bridges, the Chain Bridge. As you can see, just behind the Chain Bridge on the coast, there is the Red Matthias Church. Trailed on from there, the French Bastion, and then again the Matthias Church, and finally the Royal Palace.
As you can hear, the bells of Parish Church, they are ringing and pealing, and you can hear them all across the Elizabeth Bridge. As you can see, it's a beautiful church, one that you'll enjoy to see.
Behind me, perched on the top of Gellert Hill, is the Liberation Monument, which is depicting the sign of liberation of the Russians' rule over Hungary. It was designed and sculpted by the sculptor Zsigmond, a Hungarian person. And just below it is a picture of a man slaughtering a dragon, which depicts the triumph of good over evil.
Saint Gellert was a bishop, and he was always a preacher of Christianity. Now, in an opposition to all of the things he said, the Hungarians have rolled him down in a barrel, not only to the Danube, but to his own death. As you can see at the top of the hill, there is a statue of Saint Gellert, and just below him is a converter, to show that all that who have done that have wanted to convert. He's also holding a cross. Now, this region is very good for lovely picnics and romantic walks. You can enjoy yourself up with all the view of Buda and Pest, and enjoy a lovely nice time with lots of picnics and lovely walks through the woods.
Sunset transforms Budapest into a magical city. You can see the beautiful sunset reflecting over the serene Danube, almost resonating the blue Danube wall.
Behind me, all the silhouettes of the buildings reflect a lovely, tranquil and calm, serene photo of the lovely Buda and Pest together as one.
parish church of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It was made in the time of Saint István, the first Hungarian king to be converted into a Christian. It's the oldest building at Pest and certainly has a lot of historical information to gather. Come with me, I insist you to enjoy this lovely historic museum in itself, and we'll have a good time of seeing all the cool new artifacts and treasures to come. It's a neoclassical facade. Is the 16th century red marble and white limestone tabernacle housing the relics of King Saint Ladislas. You have to keep it down in here, but just behind me is an underground vault that's used for some divine prayers. There are many Roman excavations and many finds from the olden days. This is an ecclesiastical garment, and it has all the saints' pictures above it. It's intricately embroidered, very elaborately detailed, and also gilded in gold. I'm going to enjoy my lovely sushi with ginger and of course wasabi in Hungary. I wonder how this tastes. As you all know, the Hungarians love their paprika. They keep it in all of their cuisine, like beef goulash, maybe even steaks and lots of their meats and fishes. They love it, absolutely love the spice. We are going to be trying out the traditional Hungarian starter. Some fluffy but crispy dough bread with a lovely pistachio crunch with some pepper and salt, and finally with a tip of lovely Spanish olive oil.
The way you need to have this is called duka, which is a powdery mixture with some herbs and spices and pistachios. The way to have the starter is to put some drops of olive oil on your plate with the duka, dip it into the bread. Here you go.
We are now going to be opening a pipe
Great Hungarian pipe fillet.
We are now going to I'm so proud of this.
Great Hungarian pie.
We're now unraveling the pike perch fish, one of the great Hungarian dishes. Isn't that delicious?
Yes. That's it. Manja, manja.
On the promenade of the Danube, you can find many classical and colossal buildings. I invite you for a stroll along the entire bank.
This is the Little Princess, a popular coastline of the Danube. It was made by Martin Laszlo in 1989 and it was liked by Charles, Prince of Wales, that he was told to exhibit in London.
We are standing on the Buda side of the chain bridge. The bridge is made out of cast iron and is a suspension bridge. It was designed by the Englishman William Clark and made and built by the Scottishman Adam Clark. This bridge is guarded by two majestic lions and is one of the is the heaviest bridge in Hungary.
We are now heading up to the Buda Castle via the Castle Pass. Here we will enjoy many different sights like the Royal Palace and much more like the Matthias Church and the Fisherman's Bastion. Come, I invite you to enjoy the lovely sights with me. This is the Matthias Church of Our Lady. It was named after the King Matthias Corvinus and was built during the 13th and 15th century. This is St. Matthias Church, built in the 13th to 15th century. It was named after King Matthias Corvinus, who was also married in the same church. It has many interior decorative features, which are made in the Baroque and New Gothic style.
Decorative interiors which are in the roof and New Gothic style.
On the Matthias Church, you can see they have attractive, colourful gold tiles. At the tower, you can see that they're leading up on every edge of the octagonal tower. And pillars, there are gargoyles which lead to a beautiful, lovely spire. Just at the bottom where the entrances, you can see lots of rose flower decoration and the statue of baby Jesus and Mother Mary. We are now in the interior of Matthias Church. As you can see, it's elaborately and intricately detailed. In many parts of it gilded in gold, with a lovely, beautiful cross just behind the altar in the niche. As you can see, also it's got lovely different lights and a nice decorative altar. This is also the very same place where Matthias Corvinus was married.
I'll come.
This is the beautiful Baroque Madonna and baby Jesus. When the wall was smashed, it had taken a disappearance and after some time had miraculously appeared back to the Turks. These people thought it was a sign of defeat and had left Hungary forever. The Fisherman's Basin is a lovely romantic spot for you to enjoy performances, picnics and evening walks. It's also a very attractive spot and many come to view it. Once again, Budapest magically comes alive with all their lovely cultural celebrations and all of their lighting and festivals. As you can see across the Parliament there is a lot of lovely different decorations and how the Danube reflects the nearly midnight sky and the beautiful things to see and come.
There's a complete different scene in Budapest by night. It becomes almost magical, very enrapturing. You can see every monument lit up brightly and lots of vendors selling everywhere.
If you ever get the time to visit this place, please try and reserve yourself for the night. It's got the most beautiful lights and decorations you could ever imagine. As you can see here for yourself, Matthias Church is one of the most favourable and amazing churches in the whole of Budapest. Now, as you can see when it's with lights, it is the best.
And 17th century.
This is the Holy Trinity Square and behind me is the Holy Trinity Monument with the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. It was erected by the Hungarians in order to commemorate the time when the plague was defeated in the 1600s. Soaring above me is the attractive Glory to Hungary mosaic on the facade of the Turkish Bank. It depicts the Hungarian rulers and the nation on the throne with all its jubilant people bowing down.
Now, one of my favourite pop singers was Michael Jackson, and when he came to Budapest to perform, many had all loved him and wanted to see him. However, it was really hard to, so they all just gathered in the park to watch him. After his death, many were sad, and they all wanted to commemorate his name. So they dedicated this very tree in order to remember him for all his great songs like Beat It and ABC. Come, I'll show you around the tree. Behind me is the attractive and mesmerising St. Stephen Basilica, dedicated to St. Istvan, the first Christian Hungarian king. It was built in 1851. And during this time it was made in a classical style and was using a Greek cross floor plan. These two monumental towers hold two colossal and amazing bells weighing actually around 9,250 kg. Imagine how much and how heavy that is.
We're in the St. Stephen Basilica, and as you can see, there are such intricate and beautiful patterns across the entire place. There are different images, like images of Jesus and God, and much more, saints and all the other martyrs in Christianity. Currently, there is a baptism taking place, and as you can see, the altar has a very lovely decorative pattern with an amazing statue of God. In the altar, there is a statue of Saint Stephen, and just before it are some reliefs, some beautiful reliefs that depict the life of Saint Stephen. As you can see, just above the reliefs are some mosaics with a background of gilded gold and use of semi-precious stones like lapis lazuli and turquoise, giving a serene and solemn atmosphere to the basilica. Just behind me is the gorgeous pulpit with intricate and elaborate designs. At the top you can see two baby chairs and holding a cross. It's an amazing enrapturing feature to the entire show, and I think captures the attention of all the people around. Built in Carrara marble and embellished with gilded paneling, this is an attraction that no tourist would want to miss in this lovely, amazing basilica. Saint Istvan had a son, and the prince was named Saint Emmerich. Now, the architect and sculptor named
Alois Strobel
had captured the image of Saint Gellert, a famous saint, hugging one of Saint Emmerich.
The Saint Gellert is supposed to have imparted his theological ideas on Saint Emmerich, the son of Saint Istvan, as depicted in this beautiful sculpture. Behind us within this casket is something called the Holy Right Hand. It contains the right hand of King Stephen.
Behind it is the painting of Saint Stephen leaving his sword and crown, the crown of Hungary, and leaving it in the hands of Mary.
Mary is regarded as the patron saint of Hungary, as there was no heir left to the crown after the death of the prince's son, Saint Emmerich. Visiting this church is an enjoyable experience. Every corner of the church is embellished. It seems that there's a lot of effort put in every altar, the ornate candelabras, the ceilings gilded, the mosaics, which are really exquisite in real semi-precious stones, makes this truly enjoyable experience.
The exquisite art, the beautiful stained glass windows, and all of the majestic colours around, and intricate and elaborate work just makes you feel like you want to stay, as it's got most of the historic things you'd ever love to imagine.
We are on the terrace of the Basilica, which offers a very panoramic view of Budapest. After climbing 304 steps, it's really a rewarding experience.
It's a lovely panoramic view from over here. You can see all the lit buildings and lights, and enjoy yourself on the lovely sunsets and sunrises. As an extra package with this panoramic terrace view from the Basilica, you can see many buildings like the Buddha Castle, the Fisherman's Bastion and Matty's Church, and even the House of Parliament, even though it's the same height as this very building. It's an amazing view, and it's enjoyable, unique things to watch and see.
You can see the funicular going up, the lift going up to Buddha Castle there. The whole place will come alive in the night.
It's all lit up and enjoyable. goodbye to the mesmerizing and captivating, but yet beautiful and unique Basilica of St. Stephen. At the top you can see it says Ego sum ad veritas et via. This means, and is a quote from Jesus, I am the way, the truth, the life. Welcome back again in the Buda Castle with all the sunshine and lovely news. Behind me, built in 1806 in the neoclassical style, is the residence of the President of Hungary within the Buda Castle. Just above the flag of the EU and Hungary flag, you can see that there is a bas-relief. This relief depicts Count Sandor is being knighted, hence the name of this palace. Welcome to the Royal Palace in Buda Castle. We are standing at the entrance of the magnificent and amazingly captivating ornamental gateway to the Royal Palace. Here, beside it, is a mythical tour bird, something that's supposedly guarding the Royal Palace.
Buda Castle offers a mesmerizing view of the city, especially the beautiful Danube, with the chain bridge in the backdrop, the Gresham Palace and St. Stephen's Cathedral. We're standing next to an old cityscope. What is a cityscope?
A cityscope is a machine that was used to insight past times in Budapest. How it works is you insert a coin in here and you see all the past images.
Můžete se stoupit na palácovou terasu, což je teda tohle stopro. Z ní se otvírá nádherná výhlídka na Pešť.
The bronze statue of the mythical tour bird marks the millennium anniversary of the Magyars' conquest in 896. Behind me is the statue of Prince Eugene of Savoy, which was made by Joseph Roda. The statue commemorates the battle between Hungary and the Turks, and how the Turks fled after the Hungarians had won the battle. At the base you can see the reliefs that depict some of the moments in the battle. On either side of the statue you can see two of the prisoners captured during this battle. It was in the battle centre. To many museums such as the Budapest History Museum, the Budapest Military Museum, and last but not least, the Budapest National Gallery. The fabulous cavalry in their pageantry, embellished in all their suits, ready to change their guards. How amazing of a sight is this?
Do you know anything about this? Who have made this? So, this is the lovely, majestic Matthias Fountain, also regarded as the Trevi Fountain of Budapest. built in 1904 by the famous sculptor and architect Alias Strobo. Do you know anything about the fountain, Joshua?
I think so, yeah. At the top is Matthias Corvinus, and he was the king. He was just in an expedition and had killed a stag, and you can see his crossbow, his right arm. Just below him are his henchmen, who are just calling off the hunt with their blood blowing their horns. You can see the hounds watching them as they do this. Just at the bottom left, there is a person called Ionka. Do you know anything about that woman in the bottom left?
So that is the lovely and beautiful Ionka, who is the beloved of King Matthias Corvinus. Do you know anything more?
Yeah, I think I do. Ionka here is depicted as gently holding her deer next to her, and there's a backstory to this. Legend has it that during Matthias Corvinus's incognito hunting expedition, Ionka had not known who he was and didn't know he was king. Therefore, she fell in love with him. We are currently standing in the courtyard of the Royal Palace. Just above me is the dome of the Royal Palace, which was designed in the neoclassical style. As you can see, there are colossal columnars there, and just above them are statues of the court's entertainers. There are some with masks, like for the theatre, some with musical instruments, some with books, and much more. There are a variety of entertaining instruments during that time. This is the Lion Gate. It's the entrance to the rear entrance of the Royal Palace. It's decorated with garlands and magnificent other floral patterns. It's also guarded by the two lions, and it's a lovely thing to watch, and it's a historical gate. This art depicts the Battle of Zenta and how the Prince Eugene of Savoy defeats the Turks. As you can see, the Turkish king is being enshrouded, and under him is a faithful African servant who has died in the cause. You can see to the left that two of the prisoners are taken prisoners from the Turks, naked and shaved as well. To the right, you can see that one of the prince's henchmen is blowing a trumpet or a horn, supposedly, to sign that they have won the battle. You also see that they are all raising up their swords in victory, and they are triumphant for they have won. This is the Hungarian National Gallery, full of art and culture. When King Bela IV had turned Buda into his capital, he had made his very first castle in this same site. Through the ages, the various monarchs have made many different modifications and reincarnations to this castle, such as Matthias Corvinus or even Empress Theresa, and including the last monarch, Charles I, King of Hungary and Austria. From the 1980s onwards, all the presidents have resided in this royal palace and have lived here from then on up to now. Beside the majestic and magnificent Hungarian Parliament, a symbol of Hungarian democracy. Hungary's Parliament is the largest building in the country. Based on the London Parliament, it has a dome dominating the entire parliament. It has also been made up in the interior a very Baroque style. The facade is neo-Gothic, but the interior is brewed in the Baroque style.
What? This way. Look, come this way. Look, this way. I'm just taking a picture.
We are inside the parliament and a chamber where voting took place and people could have their own speak for themselves. So, these are the cigar holders. When the MPs or anybody went into the chambers, they weren't allowed to finish their cigars in there. So instead, they just keep them here, and after their voting system or any event, come back, find their number, and then start again. We are at the Parliament, enjoying the lovely view by night. How mesmerising and captivating it can grab your attention to just see the lovely, wondrous building and all its embellishment in the pure night sky. if you ever come to Budapest, you must enjoy the lovely serene Danube at night. You can see the lovely, wonderful lights from all over town reflecting and glistening onto the amazing river. You can also enjoy the lovely views from top places and enjoy the lovely sights like the Parliament, even the other monuments like the Basilica, Matthias's Church and much more. I'm standing in the Jewish quarter in front of the Great Synagogue in Budapest. It's the largest in Europe and the second largest synagogue in the world and can accommodate 3,000 worshippers. It was built in the Byzantine Moorish style and finished in 1859. The magnificent facade of the Great Synagogue is covered in red and white bricks. Just above you is the rose window, geometrically patterned, and just under it is an inscription from the second book of Moses. Flanked on either side are two majestic towers leading up to two onion domes at the top.
What is it you're wearing, Joshua, on your hair?
I'm wearing a kippah. It's a traditional hat that men wore as a sign of reverence to God. You can see it right there. I'm standing beside the richly embellished and lavishly decorated altar. In the center of the altar is the Ark of the Law, and behind the burgundy curtain is the Holy Scriptures, the Torah. Flanked on either side are the gilded candelabras, and just above is the Holy Star of David, which is lit throughout the entire day continuously. You can see how much effort is put into this amazing altar and how the gilded features give you a lovely, serene atmosphere and aura exuded throughout the synagogue. The architects who designed this synagogue weren't Jews, therefore the layout of the synagogue was resembling a church. These features include a central aisle, pews, a nave, an altar, a dome, and even an organ depicting an Orthodox synagogue. During festivals, the women and the men would both sit on the ground floor, the women to the left and the right, and the men in the center. However, usually during services, it would always be the men at the ground floor and the women above in the galleries and balconies. The synagogue was designed in the Moorish style, as you can see the patterns below and above on the ceiling. This monument resembles the 60th anniversary of the Jewish Holocaust. You can see the flames that represent the Holocaust and a snake coiling through it. Behind me is the Holocaust Memorial in the shape of a weeping willow tree. It resembles the sorrowful time when the Nazis had massacred 600,000 Jews during the Holocaust attack.
You see the leaves inscribed with the names written down on them. These were in memory of some of the people who had died. Some of the leaves don't have any names on it just yet, since they are still waiting for more donations to be written down.
I am standing in the Hero Square. Behind me is the Millennium Memorial, which commemorates the 1000th anniversary of the Magyar Conquest. Housed between two fine museums is the Museum of Fine Art and the Hall of Art. At the top of the column is a statue of Angel Gabriel holding a double cross and the Hungarian Holy Crown. At the base you can see King Arpad, the known founder of the Hungarian nation, surrounded by 7 Magyar chieftains. Just below here is the tomb of an unknown soldier.
I am standing in the Veda Castle. You can see on this majestic palace that's made in the Baroque style, all the different features including seraph, cherub, mythical creatures and even flora and fauna patterns. Veda Castle consists of pavilions and many entertainment facilities and was primarily built for the public. It has different visits and sites to amusingly attract yourselves to and has many different places to enjoy yourselves at. This is the great statue of Anonymous, the chronicler writing of I'm standing in front of the Yak Church. The portal is from a Benedictine origin, and just above it are the 12 disciples with Jesus in the center. We are inside a famous bar called the Anonymous Bar with all the food you'd like, such as Caesar salad, a burger and much more. You can see how you enjoy all the salads and all the different meals you get, including fresh orange juice to green tea. We are at the Széchenyi thermal bath. Here it reaches up to 35 to 40 degrees in the water. It's the largest medicinal bath of its kind in Europe and has many different things to enjoy.
With 13 swimming pools and 5 thermal baths, this is the luxury you want to enjoy. Come, I'll take you inside.
Behind me is the amazing, beautiful St. Gelert's monument. Here depicting St. Gelert with a cross in his hand, changing Hungary into Christians, with a man at his foot begging to forgive his sins. You can see that this monument was made a long time ago, and he was the first bishop of Hungary and was a master of Saint István, the first king of Hungary. This is the Statue of Liberty. It was built in 1947 and commemorates those who sacrificed their lives for the prosperity, freedom and independence of Hungary. It's the highest point in Budapest and you can get lovely, beautiful views from here. And of course, it takes a long while and a long, hard walk to get up here, but it's definitely worthwhile. The bridge on City Mall is the Liberty Bridge, made in 1894 to 96. It's one of the bridges and one of the more popular bridges that connects Budapest together. It is also a connection between two squares, the Great Market Hall and the St. Gelert Square. As you can see, it's quite populated just like the Chain Bridge and the Elizabeth Bridge, and gives you wonderful, beautiful views during sunrise and sunset. This bridge is a cantilever bridge, therefore has its own unique type. I'm inside the great market hall where you find all your different products. Here you can see all up to your spicy salami, all to your sausages and enjoyable foods. You can even find some of the most amazing things allowed for not only just the locals but even for the most interested tourists around the world. It's a very important place to the locals and is a very enjoyable, relaxing time just shopping around and investigating the mall, how it is. If you ever want to come and buy a souvenir in Budapest, never go to anywhere else apart from the market. You can get the cheapest ones but for the best kind of price. And here they're the same quality, same things. Compared to the other shops, they just give it as a rip-off for like, I don't know, so much. So please, if you ever come, do come here. It's got the best things for the best prices. Jews at the Danube Bank, a memorial to the Jews who were shot by the Nazis in the Danube River in World War II.
English